This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, and you're listening to Python's Paradise, your film and music show, and this is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, and I am joined by...
Shilo Sixx from Film Fantasy.
And we have a very special guest on the phone tonight. She's a wonderful dancer, and she was featured in two big musicals that we're going to talk about here momentarily. We're talking about the talented, the absolutely gorgeous, stunning, beautiful Antonia Franceschi. Hello, Antonia.
Hello, what an intro. I'll take that anytime.
Yeah, you got a sexy name, too.
Yeah, he's good at those.
I've never heard of a name like your Antonia. That is a beautiful name.
It's Italian, isn't it?
Thank you.
What kind of name is that?
It's Italian. My father was Italian.
Okay. Well, I guess my first question is, how did you get started? Like, you started out obviously in dance, right?
Yeah, started out in ballet. It's sort of kind of a typical question, but not really, in the sense that my mom was a frustrated dancer, and when I was about 3, she used to go to evening classes and do adult ballet. And I would just have to sit there sort of under the piano, and eventually I started getting up, and then it was pretty evident that I had what we call facility, which is a decent body and musicality. So that's basically the way I started. She turned around and went, "Why don't you do it?"
Okay. Well, I got a little something to tell you. Whenever I looked you up to email you to do this interview, I was familiar with you from being in Fame, where you played Hilary Van Doren.
That was a wonderful film.
I had no idea you were in Greece, and it's...
Oh my God, I know. Do you want to hear the story about that?
Well, you know what? I didn't... I've got both films home, but I know exactly who you were.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to play a game here.
Okay.
You have brown hair in Greece, right?
Uh-huh.
And there was one scene you were all through the movie, but I remember when the girl found the frog in her bag, you were with the male sitting at the table, right?
Uh-huh.
That was you. There was a scene where Eddie Deason gets a pie in the face, and you're standing by him with a pogo hot dog in your hand, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, you were laughing at him. Now, tell me, did off screen, did you take a pie in the face too?
Oh God, no.
Oh.
No. That was just all for camera.
Oh man, you're sitting back laughing at him. And you were featured in all the music numbers. One that I remember was the song "We Go Together," and you were right up front. There's always that guy that was with you with the green shirt that had the slick hair that went down to a point. People laugh at him.
Yeah, I think he was trying to be funny. At least I hope he was trying to be funny.
Yeah, people lose their minds when he starts that dance because it's it very stands out. But we see you in your shorts and you're jumping out there. I knew exactly who you were, and I didn't even have to watch the movie to see it. You were the beautiful dancer, I call you.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. I forget the name that Randall Kleiser called the dance group, but do you remember?
No, I don't. I mean, what they did was they took 10 people from the East Coast and 10 dancers from the West Coast, and they combined us, and we were in the entire film. And I think what they were trying to do was to get a real feel of high school by having the same people be in every scene. And I think that worked really well. So they just hired dancers from each side of America and put them together, and we were together for like a good 3 months. So there was a real unity. Everybody got into the spirit of it and got to know each other. And the same partner that you had throughout the whole film, so it was as if that was your boyfriend.
Yeah, because I noticed like in the background, like you guys gelled in, like the director, Randall Kleiser, was saying on the commentary track, that he didn't have to really give you guys much direction. You guys were just total professionals.
Yeah, it was amazing. But I think Patricia Birch was the choreographer, and she did the original Broadway show, so she was a veteran, so she knew how to pick people. I mean, I think the way they cast it was just brilliant. So when you pick really good dancers that have done Broadway, and I mean, I hadn't, but you get this very sophisticated professional, and so they just picked up on what was happening.
Okay. Well, I have a couple of questions about the dancing in that movie. What was your favorite dance number in Grease to do?
I would say it was the dance-off, the competition. That was great. What they did was we learned all the routines. We had like a 3-week rehearsal period, which is unheard of in films. And we did that on the Paramount Studios before we started filming. But what Pat did was she allowed each of the couples to do their own, when they came up to do their sort of competition, she allowed us to choreograph it ourselves.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
And what was the most difficult one to do?
To be horrible and honest, because I was trained ballet dancer, none of them were hard.
Okay.
Compared to, that kind of dancing isn't really hard. I think maybe to do take after take, but you don't really remember. I mean, I was 16 when I did it, so I had, tons of energy. It didn't bother me anything, except it was in the summer, so it was hot. But nothing was extremely difficult.
Okay. Well, Shilo has some questions about some of the cast members.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wondering, Grease is one of my all-time favorite films, and, I absolutely love John Travolta. Did you do any dancing with him off set or any of the other cast members?
John Travolta is like the nicest guy on the planet, and because he was so successful before the film, it was really interesting because I think he would always come on set just before his take, so he didn't hang out. But he was really gorgeous to me. There was, I think he knew that I was sort of underage and stuff like that because it was like a big secret.
Right.
So he kind of would protect me a little bit. And towards the end of the film, he came over to me and he told me that his manager wanted to talk to me. In other words, asked me if I wanted to stay on in California and stuff like that. So he was really, really lovely. But he didn't hang out. He was very much a star at that point even.
Right.
What was it like working with Olivia Newton-John?
Yeah.
She was a sweetheart. She was so lovely, but she was really, really shy.
I thought it was interesting that she demanded to audition for the role.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Well, she was perfect for the part. So was Travolta. The whole cast of the film was fantastic as it was. I saw the film in 1998 on the
revival.
20th year revival, and at that time, I had said to myself, that, and it's kind of funny because I wasn't born in the 70s when it came out. I was born in the 80s. But when I saw it, I thought, oh, this must be a new movie. And then I discovered, no, it was actually 20 years old.
Oh,
I actually thought it was brand new at the time.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then I saw it, and I watched it, and I loved the film. And, I've always had these questions in my head about this specific film because, well, let's face it, Grease is a worldwide phenomenon. Everybody loves Grease,
It's amazing. I mean, there was a really good vibe on the set. I don't think anybody thought it wouldn't be really good because every number was great and everyone would watch each other dance and do you know what I mean? It was and watch Stockard Channing do her scenes and stuff. So I think we all thought that it was great, but we didn't know that it would be forever great.
You can tell throughout the film that specific because the film shows that the high energy that it has.
Oh, amazing, right?
Yeah, just my favorite number is Summer Love.
Oh.
And when they're dancing on the what do you call those things? The bleachers.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the scene just gets me every time. It's so much fun.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Everybody was really, really nice.
What was your memories of Stockard Channing?
I thought Stockard. I remember watching her do that scene where she was pregnant.
Okay.
And I stuck around because you didn't have to stick around if you weren't filming. You could just go home or whatever, or wait a couple hours for the next shot. But I remember watching her do it because she was such a great actress.
Okay.
And just thinking, wow, because she spoke sang, she didn't sing.
Oh.
So in the beginning, everybody was like, why is she cast? And then, because we didn't know, she's a proper stage actress, but we didn't know that. I didn't know that, certainly. But I remember standing and just watching her do her takes, and she was incredible. I think I learned tons just watching that.
What was your memories of Jeff Conway as
Yeah, I
Mickey?
was just going to ask that one.
Jeff was like a party guy.
Sad to hear his passing.
That party guy sounds about right for him, yeah, sadly.
Yeah, who knew, right?
Yeah.
Who knew that was real?
Yeah. That's sad. Yeah, he's not with us anymore. But what his memory lives on is as a great actor.
Yeah, and he was a really nice guy, but he was like partying, definitely. I think we
Yeah.
all knew that.
Yeah, that was the beginning of his troubles.
Yeah.
I got wondering why you're very pretty. I was wondering why you weren't a pink lady.
Do you know what? I think, first of all, the pink ladies were older, and they were actresses. I was just a dancer. Do you know what I mean? I think they had to be more known. Like all the women, but thank you. All the women that did those were already actors, and they were sort of in their 20s.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so they were like proper actresses that were getting like a smallish part. Do you know what I mean? Like if you look them all up, I'm sure they've done television, another small film.
What's your memories of them?
Oh, they're really nice. Yeah.
Dee Conn and her pink hair.
Huh?
Dee Conn and her pink hair.
Dee Conn was great. I dated her brother.
Oh, there you go.
She was really nice. Yeah, she was really nice, like super nice, just like the character. She was just exactly like that.
Yeah, I remember the last time I've seen Grease a couple of times at midnight screenings.
Yeah,
and,
same here.
Now the movie, I was 6 years old when the movie originally came out in 1978, but I saw a midnight screening of it, and right in the middle of the theater, there was a group of girls singing "Helplessly Devoted to You" alongside Olivia Newton-John.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. When I saw the revival for it, everybody who was in the audience, including myself, and of course I had never seen it or heard it before, so I was just kind of clapping along to it. Everybody was singing these songs in there, and a bunch of fellas wearing leather jackets actually got up and started dancing along to Summer Love.
Oh, that's so great.
So you can see where the film has that high energy and gives off that energy as it's playing out. And a bunch of ladies in there, there's a whole crowd of them, they were all singing Rizzo's song.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yes. So the film has that energy to be the musical that it is, and you know, it has the cast, it has everything to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we're also celebrating the 35th anniversary of Fame, and this is another great. I was 8 years old when this one came out.
I was brought along 5 years later.
Yeah, Shilo came out in the 80s. I came out in the 70s.
Yeah.
So
Right, got it.
Yeah. I love Fame, and I love the fact that was when I first seen you, and I have to say I was a bit smitten.
Oh, thank you.
How did I not know that?
Like I said, when I found out you were in Greece, I knew exactly who you were, because I knew there was one really pretty dancer in there. But
Very modest.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
How did you get the part in Fame?
Okay, I'll tell you what happened. What happened was I had done the movie Grease, and in order to do Grease, I gave up, because, you know, I studied ballet my whole life, and I wanted to be a ballerina. So when I did Grease, I gave up a scholarship to American Ballet Theater. So when you're a young dancer, you want to do the summer programs so that you can basically, you have to go to schools to get into a company. Mm-hmm. You don't just audition for the company. So, but I did Grease to make money so that I could go to private school, so that I could become a dancer. A professional dancer. So when Fame, what happened was we were in Manhattan, and I was in my School of American Ballet doing my ballet, and they were scouring the city to find a dancer that could talk, you know, could act a bit. And so my name kept coming up because I had done Grease. But I said, I'm not interested, because I felt that I had lost time in training when I did Grease, because I couldn't do ballet. So I felt I lost time with my career that I wanted to do. So I kept saying I wasn't interested. Then all the girls in my ballet class auditioned, and nobody was getting it. So I started getting really sort of interested. And then they called me, and they said, listen, we know you don't want to do the movie. The casting lady called me. We know you don't want to do the movie, but would you just come in and read? I said, yeah, sure, definitely. So I went in, and the casting lady handed me the crying scene. I did it. Obviously, she thought it was good. And she said, can you stay right here? And I said, yeah. So they sent me directly into Alan Parker. I did it for him. While I was doing it, he was filming me, which I didn't know, so I guess that constitutes a screen test. And that was it. They offered me the part.
Alan Parker, a terrific director for musicals, having done Pink Floyd The Wall after that, and he did Bugsy Malone and Evita later on. He really knows how to handle musicals.
He's so great.
Yes.
He's just so great.
Well, I want to discuss your role in the film Hilary Van Doren, and you appear midway through, and it's interesting what I found about your role in the film. you do a lot of stuff with the character Leroy, played by Gene Anthony Ray.
Yeah.
And what I found so interesting in this is that the dynamics, what's going on. Number one, you're involved in an interracial relationship.
Yeah.
And also, he's from the streets, and your character, is upper class.
Yeah.
And you bring him to your place there, and the parents are just sitting there. And that was some great comedic elements. What was it like to do a speaking part like that? Was it challenging for you?
Yeah, it was really challenging because I didn't have any training. Do you know what I mean? So I just went on instinct, and I really trusted Alan. So basically, he would, what I learned in hindsight of doing it, if it wasn't right, he would have said something. So he never really said anything to me.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I think I did the crying scene. Oh, yeah. I did the crying scene for the actual filming. And I wasn't a trained actress, so I stayed very upset for a very long time. Like, I came on set and was, like, hid under the piano and just said, tell me when you need me. So I stayed sort of basically close to tears all morning. And so I did the run-through, and he just whispered in my ear. He said something like, that's better than I thought it would be.
Wow.
I guess that's good.
That was a scene where you were contemplating an abortion.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But the rest was okay, because the other thing too is when I did Grease, everybody was older than me, so it was a bit weird. But when I did Fame, everybody was my age, and I knew lots of people in the cast, so it was much more comfortable. And it was shot in Manhattan, where I went to school, and it was based on the school that I went to. So the whole situation was really comfortable, really, really comfortable.
And the whole thing, the 4-year structure of the film, it was so beautifully structured, the way it was written, and it felt like you were actually attending school when you watch it.
Yeah, living it. So it was really close. I mean, I went to the High School of Performing Arts, so it was not dissimilar. I mean, one of the teachers, the Mr. Moody, the acting teacher, he was really from the school.
Yes.
So I think they tried to stay as close as possible. I mean, I think one of the things I think is so good about it is that Alan Parker's a really good filmmaker, you know.
Yes, he is.
Midnight Express, you know,
Absolutely.
Angel Heart. He's a proper filmmaker. So it had that level of sophistication, so it wasn't just a dance movie or song and dance movie.
What was Gene Anthony Ray like to work with? I mean, fortunately, he's no longer with us, but he had...
really great.
Yeah.
I mean, he grew up sort of uptown Manhattan, and I was from not as far uptown Manhattan, so we were very, like, I was really comfortable with him because I went to school with a lot of kids like that. So for me, it was, like, great. Like, we got along really well. I think people weren't used to, I think other people from that world weren't used to, because for him, he was, you know, he was really that kid. He was like a real street kid. But we got along great. He was great.
One of the best scenes I found in the movie was where he has his outburst in the hall, and it keeps cutting to the choir, and then him in the hall.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. And I think that teacher he was in conflict with, I think she passed away this year, didn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
somebody wrote to me about that.
Yeah. Now, the other person I want to ask you about is a girl you were in conflict on screen with, Irene Cara.
I love Flashdance, and I love What a Feeling. I'm going to get that out now.
How cool was she?
Oh, she was a sweetheart. The thing about Irene that was different, I think, from the rest of us is that she was kind of a child star, so she had been in the business for a long time. So she was the slickest. Like, she knew what she was doing, and the rest of us were sort of like, duh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know there were scenes where you two were, I think you were fighting over Leroy.
Yeah.
But I loved how you guys were doing it, the dialogue, while you guys were in dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were going back with your snarky comments back and forth. And
I mean, I owe everything to the writer for getting the last line. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Thank you. You know, I just lucked out.
And that great song, Fame. What a great song. And
hey, do you want to hear a really good story about Fame?
Sure.
Yeah.
When we first were cast in the film was called Hot Lunch.
Yes, I know that, yeah.
Yep.
And we got into the van because Alan wanted us, all the actors, to get together and get to know each other. So we get in the van, and Alan turns around and he just goes, we can't use Hot Lunch because it's a porn film. Can you think of another name?
Nice.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hot Lunch.
And there were other interesting people in the cast. Barry Miller, of course, came from Saturday Night Fever, and Maureen Teefy was really interesting. Yeah. But I don't know how much interaction you had with them, but
I had interest. I mean, the actor was fantastic in it. Crane, what was his name?
oh, I know who you're talking about. The
He
the
went
guy
on
who
to
played the
direct tons of TV stuff, and he's like a proper sort of Broadway actor. He's like amazing.
yeah, he was the one that came out that he was gay, right?
Yeah, in the film. Yeah,
Yeah, in the
that's
film,
right,
he
yeah.
was doing a lot of stuff with Maureen Teefy. They had a lot of comedic stuff.
Yeah. He's great.
He is great, yes. He doesn't have all that hair on his head now. I saw pictures of him last night as I was gathering information for this interview.
Well, I think he was going during the film.
Oh, was he? Oh.
Poor thing.
Did you see the remake of Fame?
I did. They flew me out to do the publicity for it.
Okay.
So I did. I went out to L.A. and did sort of the red carpet thing.
What did you think of it?
I thought it would be amazing. I was like, oh my God, it's a new era. There's so much talent out there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, we do, actually.
So I thought it was going to be like ridiculously off the hook. You know what I mean? I thought it would be incredible and we would be wiped off the mat. But yeah, I mean, I guess in that respect, I had really high expectations.
Well, you know, for a film as good as Fame is, and for a film as good as Grease is, there's certain movies I feel out there you don't touch.
Yeah, I think that's true.
You don't touch them. And, you know, when I found out about the remake for Footloose, I still have not watched it to this day. I have no desire to. And I have not actually seen the remake for Fame out of respect for the original. I just don't have any interest to.
Oh, I double dare you.
Oh, yeah?
Well, I'll tell you,
I dare you. Yeah, watch it.
I didn't mind the remake of Fame. I thought they did a decent effort, but it didn't hold me the way the original did. And I kept.
I think if you look at the creative team, you kind of can't compare the creative team.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I don't think it's anybody's fault, but I think if you look at the total,
Right.
that's what I think.
Well, since you're into music and dance and stuff, do you have any favorite musicals?
Oh gosh, what do I like? Chorus Line, of course.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, of course.
Can't beat Chorus Line.
That's true.
Yeah, all those raw ones are just like fantastic.
Well, according,
Yeah, that's the first one that comes to mind. I think I like them all. West Side Story, forget about it.
Singing in the Rain.
Singing in the Rain, and then I just saw An American in Paris on Broadway.
Oh,
Ah.
absolutely.
A friend of mine just is Chris Wheeldon, so that was pretty good. But I love Broadway musicals. I think the Great Hair is great.
Oh,
Chicago,
yes.
forget about it.
Chicago.
What'd you think of Mamma Mia?
I loved it.
Yes. Yes.
so good.
I'm the
I
only
never thought
person
that
who
we
ever saw.
collaborated.
I'm sure I'm the only person who ever saw it in theaters, and I counted 20 times.
And you what?
I kid you not. I saw it in theaters 20 times. I loved the film, mostly because of Meryl Streep, but I did love the film, and you know I do like ABBA.
You know what? I didn't really like ABBA, but I loved the thing.
Yeah, you
liked
know,
it.
I like a couple songs, but it's not really my kind of music. I do like a
not my
couple
thing.
songs, right? But I love the movie. I love the characters. I love the way the story starts out with Amanda Seyfried singing "Honey, Honey." Oh, it's a great film.
so
Just
good.
pure energy.
Yeah, it's really, really great.
Oh yes.
Now,
Did
according,
you guys like the Chicago movie that Rob?
Yes.
Oh,
Reiner did?
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah,
yes,
he's great.
I loved Renee Zellweger when she's doing the whole ventriloquist thing.
That's my favorite
yeah.
sequence of the movie. Yep.
Now, according to Internet Movie Database, it says you were uncredited, I guess, for Karate Kid Part 2.
Yeah, I saw that this morning.
Yeah. Sorry?
Yeah, it says you were a dancer on TV uncredited in Karate Kid Part 2. Did you know? Yeah. And they also got
okay.
you. Yeah.
They just used a clip from Fame and paid me. That's all right.
They should have just put you in. I'd go see the movie.
Oh, God, don't, please, no. It's just like the kids, like, apparently, because I don't remember when I saw it or even if I saw it, but the kids, like, walking down the street and they look at a TV screen and they're like, oh, they say something and it's me dancing, which is great. But
Well,
I'm not in the movie. I'm just sort of in the movie.
Well, here's a question. Did you see Black Swan, speaking of
Oh,
ballet?
God, yeah.
Oh,
Did you
Black
like
Swan.
that?
Now you're on classical dancer territory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I thought it was really interesting. I think it's really touchy for people that really do it for a living. because it's kind of like he got to like shortcut all the really negative things about it and like exaggerate them to make a successful movie, and I thought that was I didn't like that because we work so hard. So he sort of exaggerated the stereotypes for effect.
Okay.
Yeah, and as somebody that does that for their life and that's their passion, I didn't like that necessarily.
I can understand that.
That's all. But I think all the like so many of the scenes were like such extreme versions of a seed of an emotion or a seed of a truth. If you take a seed of a truth and you magnify it by 1,000, that's what he did.
Okay. Well, here's a question I have for you. Now, if I wanted to get an autographed picture of you, do I just, is there a way for anybody to get hold of you?
What you can do is, you have my email now, don't you? But don't give that out.
I won't give that out. I won't give that out.
We're professionals.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think if somebody wants an autographed picture, they just send me their name in a message form.
Okay.
And then I can get their address and stuff and sign something.
Yeah, because I would love to get an autograph of you. I loved you in Fame.
Cool.
I'm going back and watching Grease tonight. I'm pumped.
Oh my God.
I am pumped up for it. I'm going back and watching Grease tonight.
Shilo doesn't know where you was in the film, but I'm going to tell you.
I'll find her.
I knew
Dude,
exactly who you were.
Summer 11, you can't miss me. I'm making a fool of myself.
Oh!
Yeah.
I think I know who you are now.
I'm the goon in the back.
Oh my God.
I just called you the pretty dancer.
The goon in the back. Yeah, I remember. I know which character she is now.
Yeah, with the.
I love Summer 11. I must have watched that sequence 100 times. It's like, oh no, I got to get through the film. No, I'm gonna go back for a minute. No, yeah. I must have done that hundreds of times. When I had the movie on VHS, and I know who you are now. The goon in the back. I'm always gonna remember that.
Just look at fake breasts and the big nose. That's me.
Perfect.
Oh, come
everywhere.
on. You got a beautiful face.
Oh, no, thank you very much. I mean, I think it's okay. I'm not...
At least he's modest, though,
I think you're gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. I mean, a couple other people do, too, so that's really good.
Yes.
I don't have to, you know what I mean?
Oh, no, I kid you not. When we've been doing the podcast here for the past few months.
Oh, at least since
when I thought, what can I do for an anniversary? I thought something from Fame. I immediately thought of you. I wanted to talk. Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I said I want to talk to the beautiful blonde. Yeah, I was thinking all good oogling thoughts.
Oh, good. Like I said, he's very modest.
There you go.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, great.
Yeah, so I'll send you an email message or whatnot, and we'll try to work out something.
I'm going to watch Grease on this Friday evening.
What's that?
I mean,
I would love to.
For you, that's fine.
I'd love to get an autograph. Yes, and no, I won't give your email out. I wouldn't do that.
No, as I said, we're very professional at what we do here. We're actually film critics.
Oh, cool.
Well, we've been film critics for almost 2 decades now. Him a little longer than me. But, so we're very professional in what we do, and we take pride in what we do.
What should I go see this summer? What's a blockbuster? What's a good movie?
Straight Outta Compton. That's one of them.
Seriously?
I've seen it 5 times, and I won't ask. You can ask Python here. I have not shut the hell up about it since I've seen it.
Really?
It's absolutely fantastic. That's mine for the summer, Python.
Oh, I don't know. What's playing where you are now?
Oh, I go to New York all the time, though, so I can... But right now,
yeah?
I mean, I can just look for it, wait for it to come out here.
Oh, no, Straight Outta Compton is worth the theatrical experience in every aspect.
That great.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes
I need some street stuff living in London.
Sometimes it depends. Like, a lot of critics hated Entourage, and I really enjoyed the movie, So, I mean, it's all a matter of taste.
I think it was a little underrated, but I do agree that there was some laughs to it, yeah.
Yeah. But, well... it was a real honor to talk to you, Antonia. We absolutely love you. It was an honor, and it was great to have you on here to talk about Fame. And you just held a paper up. Trainwreck. There's a movie for you for summer.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Trainwreck.
Oh, Trainwreck was great. We both loved it. It was fantastic.
I love that. Yeah.
And of course, if you want to get in touch with our Canadian lifestyle, you can always look up the Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, oh boy, yes.
They're a little closer to us, but they're famous here. I don't know if you know who they are.
I've met one of them before.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Trailer Park Boys, three fellas from Canada here out in the Nova Scotia area that branched out and made a TV pilot a couple years ago, quite a few years ago, that turned into a TV show about three people. One is a drunken moron, the other is an elusive con artist and criminal, and the other one has got googly eyes and his name is Bubbles. It's Ricky, Julian, and Bubbles. And it follows the adventures of their crime life in the trailer park, but yet comical at the same time with all the people around them. But the strong meaning of it, the underline, is family and friends.
Ah, right.
And it's incredibly funny. If you want to see someone dumb, Ricky is definitely the icing on the cake for dumb. There's a part where he says he's trying to say he's trying to talk about the subject of intelligence, and he says it takes all rocket appliances. Yeah, so he's kind of a dummy, but the whole show works. It's a great show for adults, of course, but it's about family and friends.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, we're from Fredericton, New Brunswick. Are you familiar with this place?
Do you know I've never been to Canada?
You've
Really?
never been?
Yeah, shocking.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's some nice beaches here too. There's all kinds of, we here in Canada we're very proud of our country. But you're in London, aren't you? Are you in London?
I'm in London right now, yeah.
Oh, you're in my favorite place.
Oh, really?
Yes, some of the bands that I grew up with, are from London. They're very, very conservative and intelligent people when it comes to music and culture and everything. And I love the British culture.
Oh, it's great.
I always loved it.
Here and New York. I think it's worked out really well in that respect.
Right.
You were, correct me if I'm wrong, were you born in New York?
I wasn't. I was born in Ohio.
Oh, that's right. I looked that up and it
Yeah.
just escaped me.
My mom says that we didn't really live there. We moved pretty quickly, and then I lived in Detroit.
Oh,
And then
how was
I
that?
did suburbia until Manhattan. Manhattan I came to when I was 8.
How was living in Detroit?
Oh, I loved it.
Really? It's a very rough city, as I'm
I
told.
was like 3 to 5 years
Okay.
old.
Okay.
And 3 to 5, and I had a mom, a dad, a brother, and a house. So I was pretty happy.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard Detroit's quite rough. That's one place I've never been to, but I have been to New York before, though. And
have you?
oh yeah, and it was just great. I've been there a couple times actually. Lower Manhattan, Staten Island. I ended up in Queens by accident.
That can happen.
Yeah, that was a little spooky. It was wintertime, so they've got the fire pits with the garbage cans and all that. And I'm walking around with a friend of mine, and I'm like, I don't think we're in Manhattan anymore. And then this cab driver comes up to us and says, "You boys lost." Yeah, I think so. And he goes, "Yeah, you don't want to be walking around here. Hop in. I'll take you to Manhattan for free." And I thought, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm looking around, and this fella comes up to me, and he asked me for some change, and I gave it to him. And then he asked me again, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do here. And then luckily a cab driver pulled up and took us out of there. But, New York was very nice. Manhattan, lovely.
Yeah, I love being, growing up in New York was a really great place. And then coming to London was really, really nice as well. But I go back and forth all the time, so I feel it's the best of both worlds.
So what's it like living in London, England? What's it like there?
It's great. I think, because I was raised in Manhattan, when I came here, it felt very suburban to me. Like the pace is not the same pace as Manhattan. I don't think any place is like Manhattan except for maybe India. So for me, it felt really mellow, and that was really nice because I think, I was living such a fast pace my whole life. So to come here, it was really nice for the beginning that it was so chilled out.
Now you just got to get to Canada so you can see us.
Yeah, and then I'm talking about really chilled, right?
And noticed you sent me a little portfolio when you emailed me that first time, and you won a bunch of awards and stuff. Would you like?
Yeah, I think people, because ballet is so separate from the mainstream world. In terms of like we don't go on TV. I've done TV and I've done radio and I've done Women's Hour and I've done books and stuff. But it's not the same as doing a film. So people, unless they Google me and stuff, they wouldn't know that I just went on. I mean, after I did Fame, I was offered a 3-picture deal, with Hollywood. And I said, no, I wanted to dance for George Balanchine. So it was my choice not to continue in films. And I didn't think I was particularly, anyway. so I wanted to be a ballerina my whole life, so I went in that direction. So most people don't know what I've done over the past sort of 30 years. But that's why I sent it to you. I was just like, I don't toot my own horn, but you're not going to, I've done tons of articles and papers and things like that and gotten reviews and, all that sort of stuff, but nobody would really know because it isn't mainstream.
Right.
Okay.
That's why I sent it.
Of all your awards, which one, I hope this is not overbearing it, but what was your most prized?
Oh my God.
Because I know you had several of them listed there.
Yeah, Time Out Award. I mean, getting a wonderful review from the New York Times for choreography, that was like amazing. I mean, they're all like really, really great. Just to be honored for your work is like fantastic. They've all been a surprise, let's put it that way. So they're all really special in their own way. Time Out was amazing. I don't know, it's just really nice. And I like the fact that they're diversified, that it's not just for one form. Either producing, choreographing, directing, writing, things like that. I like that.
Yeah. Were you ever approached to choreograph and film or music videos or anything like that?
I think I did one for Bond. I did. There was a girl instrument group called Bond. I think I did that. No, because you know what I've never done? I've never had an agent. People just find me like the way you found me.
Right.
So I haven't done that, no.
Wow.
I'd like to, though. I'd be really good at it.
Yeah. So
I love, music videos and MTV and all that stuff.
Yeah, see, here's the thing, though. In our generation, MTV was big. MTV doesn't really seem to be around anymore. And with music, I think music's taken a dive in the last 30 years. You got some bands out there, I don't even know who they are. And honestly, I could care less to know who they are. But what is your take on MTV now? I mean, MTV started in 1981. The Buggles were the first ones on there, sadly. I do find that song humorous. But what's your take on MTV and music videos and stuff like that now?
I think music videos are like small movies now.
Yeah.
I don't watch MTV, but like I'll see Beyonce's videos and what people are doing and stuff. I think they're really interesting. I think they're very artistic, and I think they're pushing the boundaries in terms of they're short films now. Do you know what I mean? They're very, very interesting short films. So I think it's another side to the artist's, interest or personality and stuff like that. They don't hold my attention for a long time because I like, movies and theater and stuff like that. But I find them very interesting, and I find them, they'll define the singer a little bit because the singers now have so much input on what they're doing.
I am honored that Pat Benatar was the first female artist to be featured on MTV.
Yeah, I agree with that. I look back on 30 years, when MTV was big, and I remember MTV was promoted a lot of music back then. And now here in Canada, it's something called Much Music, and it's located and filmed in Toronto, Ontario. And, I've been to their headquarters a couple times, seen what they do. Is pretty cool. But I find now there's a lot of bands out there that seem to be a cash grab. And it's the same thing with movies. And I don't really know why that is now, but it seems like elements like film and music have changed so much in the last 30 years that everything is just different now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think one thing that's happened is people can have their own careers. In other words, you can release something on YouTube.
Right.
So it's just the birth of the individual artist, the birth of the poet, which I think is great.
Right.
You can mass produce yourself if it just takes off. So I think opportunity is everywhere for filmmakers, for musicians, for entrepreneurs and things like that. I think it's a whole new world from the world that we're used to, which I think is incredibly exciting and incredibly optimistic.
I suppose that is that's where the digital age of now has dealt into. Back then we didn't exactly have internet and TV and stuff like that like we do now. So basically, in short, anybody can really do what they want now through the power of the internet. Which is
a plus and also can be a negative. It can also be so much pressure.
That's true.
That you're in charge of your own life, you know what I mean, that type of thing. But I don't think the 20-year-old now is intimidated by any of it.
I don't think so either. But like being able to throw yourself on YouTube and being able to do something like that. There's certain artists out there that I truly respect. They earn their spot. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
As you had said, Beyonce, she's earned just about every award that woman has ever won, and she is one of the most fantastic R&B artists I've heard in a long time.
Gee, Kanye West thinks she earns more.
Kanye West, I'm not a fan of him at all. Honestly,
No.
I think he's a tool. But there's certain artists out there that are really fantastic, and they've earned those spots. But to me, if you're going to put yourself on YouTube, I hope the work goes into it.
I'll tell you something, though. I mean, you brought up a really important point, and the point is longevity. Mm-hmm. Longevity only comes if you know what you're doing.
That's true.
And you can have the one-hit wonder, that whole thing, but it's the same sort of like, you can know somebody famous, they can introduce you to somebody, but if you haven't got the goods, it's not going to work out.
That's very true, and that's very difficult among a lot of people. I mean, I'll use us as an example. We've been film critics for 20 years now, and we've never really branched out into anything huge. We do charity events, we do stuff like that. We have lots of fun with that, but we've never been picked up by networks. We've never been picked up anything, and people have told us for 20 years now we're really good at what we do. And
right.
we've never been picked up by anything, and we do this show here, we have fun with that, and we've put the work in. But for us, to put ourselves on YouTube, it would have to be, it would have to mean something for that.
Well, the thing is, I think a body of work speaks for itself. So whether or not you're realized within your time is something else. You can also, you can always hustle the situation. It doesn't mean you just lie down with it. If you think you have a good product, put it on YouTube. Edit it yourself and just stick it up there.
Do you do a lot?
I think it's incredibly important to sort of not undersell yourself as well. If you do have a good product, do you know what I mean?
Yes,
just
of
run
course.
with it.
Do you put a lot of stuff of yours on YouTube? I did not
I don't
check.
put any choreography on YouTube because I don't want anyone to take it.
That's
That's okay.
Yeah, I understand
I
that.
have to be really careful. But I'm on Facebook and I post pictures that I don't mind anyone seeing because we all know that anything that goes on the internet, everyone can see.
Yeah.
So, I get requests all the time to post pictures from fame or pictures of my dancing or something like that. And I'll post, at least I can be selective. And I don't mind that at all. I think that's great. So my Facebook has like tons of photos from all the different things that I do.
It's kind of sad where, we live in an age where the internet can be a gateway tool to taking anything. One of my all-time favorite directors, Kevin Smith, has gone on record saying that he owns about 4 or 5 computers in his home, and none of them are hooked up to an internet because someone could go in there and steal his material.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fine line between the truth and paranoia.
that's very true.
Yeah. But no, I didn't know you were on Facebook. I'm going to have to...
yeah, there you go. I am completely responsible for that.
Oh,
because I knew that what I was saying. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
But I can also accept or not accept, which is good.
Well, the thing is with me, I don't go on Facebook a lot. I've been doing it mainly to look for interviews. I actually didn't find you on Facebook. I actually found your... I think you got a site on there. Do you got a web page, right?
I don't. I have done nothing. I'm like the laziest person on the planet.
I'm trying to think how I got your information.
I don't know. How did you get it? Yeah. Oh, did you go to IBDM or whatever that site is? The movie
IMDb.
site? Yeah, IMDb.
I think that was
I like
it,
that.
but I don't know. I'm trying to think now where I
How
got...
did it happen? Who are you? I could maybe not even be her. You never know.
Yeah, because I got your information there, and I sent you the message. I was so stoked when you responded. I was so happy to hear from you. Yeah.
And you sent it on Facebook, didn't you? Yeah.
What's that?
I think you sent the message on Facebook, didn't you?
I don't think so. I don't think I found you on.
I thought so. Oh well, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I found you somewhere. So
what are you going to do with this, guys? You going to air it? When are you going to air it?
It'll air this Sunday.
It won't be this Sunday.
Next Sunday.
No, we had an interview. We just got done interviewing Little Nell from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh my God! So
yes,
cool.
that was a treat and a half.
We talked to her in Sydney, Australia. She was 13 hours ahead of us.
Wow.
And I talked to Melanie Kenneman last week, who was in one of the Friday the 13th movies. And
Wow.
that'll be on this Sunday. So in a couple weeks' time, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, we're going to have this edited, and we'll put this on the air. We're recording now. We're not on live because if there's
cool.
any mistakes, we can easily fix it. But
Yeah.
when we got the thing put together, I'd be glad to send you the link, and you could put it
That'd be
on.
great.
Yeah, you could put it on your Facebook and your any social media you have, and
Cool.
Yeah, like when you had said putting your work online, that is something we have done. Like I have my own website where I put my work there, but that IMDb site you were talking about, both our works are on there. So you can see our work anytime. I believe both our reviews for Straight Outta Compton are on there. So you can go take a look at that. As I said, it's a great film. There's some really great films that came out this year, and one of the things we're very passionate about is film and being film critics. We've both reviewed Grease, I believe.
yes.
Yes? Have we both reviewed Fame?
I haven't done a written on it. I usually like to see them on the big screen.
Yeah, I'm the
to
same
do
way.
that,
Yeah.
but Fame's a great movie.
Yeah.
I've got it home. What kind of movies do you like in general?
I like really good movies, European movies. What's the last thing I saw? I cry really easily, so...
I bawled my eyes out at Straight Outta Compton. I'll admit that right now. I watched it with him for I watched it, I think, the third time, and he looks at me and goes, "Are you crying at it?" Yes!
Yeah, so you man.
Yeah, he was teasing me, but like I said, I grew up with that, so all the themes that are in the film really hit the heart. And
cool.
he looked at me and goes, "Are you crying at it?" Yes!
I think everybody cries, yeah.
Yes, I agree.
It's not a male-female thing.
That's true.
Have you seen anything interesting this year?
Recently, God, I'm just trying... I have a 12-year-old. I got a kid.
Oh,
so
okay.
that means, and I work a lot, so my evenings are I'm either at the ballet or at the theater, so I don't really get a lot of time to see movies except when I fly. Most recent thing, I'm trying to catch up on all the Netflix stuff. I keep thinking of Precious. I keep thinking of Precious.
Oh,
And
yes.
7 Years a Slave.
Yes.
That was fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, those are great movies. Really
Yep.
great movies.
Yeah, we saw both of those.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Anything I've seen recently? I've seen, all the Fantastic Four because of my son.
Oh, how'd you like that?
Guardians of the Galaxy. Loved
That was
it.
That was
fantastic.
great.
Yeah, that was great. Fantastic Four. Honestly, I've only ever walked out of, I think, 2 movies in my whole career, and I sat there. I got about 15 minutes into it. The camera work was so bad, and the cinematography was just awful. I couldn't handle the movie. I walked out of it.
Which movie?
Fantastic Four.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Hey, are you talking about the one that just came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, listen, so it got a great review in England, and my son was like, that movie looks like it totally sucks, and I was like, no, it got a good review. He's like, no, it totally sucks. So it totally sucks, is that right?
Oh yeah.
I didn't see
He didn't
it,
review it.
but-
I got 15 minutes into it, and I walked out of it.
Out of there.
I couldn't handle it. I walked out of it. The cinematography, it was just so bad. I know Python's not going to watch it here, so I'm going. Have you seen the ending of the film?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
but
okay. And I won't say anything then. But
yeah.
oh, the ending is just just a head shaker.
Well, here's a
Really?
question.
Wow.
Here's a question for you. What does your son think of your work in Fame and Grease? I mean,
Well,
that's
he's
pretty.
too young for Fame.
I
All his
figured that.
friends have seen Fame,
Yeah.
and he's seen a bit of Grease, but I'll tell you what I've done. I've raised him so that he doesn't sort of idolize Mom.
Right.
That's our job.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I was going to say
Exactly.
nobody's
exactly. I
stealing
want
our
him to be
thunder,
sort of really normal. So I wait for him to see it, but he's seen the dance clip in Fame, and you know what happened? Here they honored Alan Parker on a BAFTA as an honorary BAFTA person, so that was on TV, and they showed a couple clips from 3 of his movies, and one of them was me.
Oh, nice.
So I was really proud of that on British television. I was like, Michael, look. So that was really wonderful. So he's seen bits, but I think it's enough that his friends have seen stuff. And then later, Fame is too young. He doesn't need to be seeing that right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I was like, it goes back to another film, as I mentioned before, the original Footloose. I saw the film years and years and years ago, but I couldn't remember it. And I was in America. I was in Maine, and I bought the movie Footloose for $5 there from the Walmart. And I decided, I'm going to watch this with my sister, who's quite younger than me. And I couldn't remember, too, how adult the film was. The language in it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this is a dance movie. Kevin Bacon's in it, we saw this when we were kids. And I couldn't believe the language in it, for one thing, but the drug content, I was really surprised.
Fame is very adult, too.
Yeah, it was really surprising.
Right. Fame deals with, it deals with a lot.
Yeah, and that, to me, I'm thinking to myself, Fame and Footloose are in that same prospect of being, I think, more adult than they're made out to be.
Mm-hmm.
And, because Kevin Bacon dances in it, the kid drinks like a fish, he smokes, he does drugs, and I'm like, really? I didn't know this was in there, so I felt terrible watching it with my little sister, and I'm like, yeah, we're not going to watch this anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And I went and watched it myself, and I was kind of shocked, and there's that potential female assault scene in it, so the film really it didn't come out as well as I thought it would be. I love the dance numbers to it, but it's the same thing with Fame. I was very surprised at how adult they come off as.
Exactly, and that's part of the attraction of it. That's part of what made it really good.
Yeah.
Therefore you can't show it to your under 16.
Yeah. I got one question for you. You live in London. One of my favorite musicians that I have grown up with lives in London, and he's recently gone back on tour after 30 years with the band, Culture Club. Do you know Boy George? Have you ever met him?
I've been in the same room with him at a party.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
You're my hero now. I think I'm going to start crying. The man is one of my heroes.
Seriously?
Yes, he is. I grew up with his music. I remember when I went to school, people were dressing up like him with the dreads and the hair. And I remember every woman, almost every woman I came in contact with at the time was dreads and dressing up as him and singing and dance contests and sing-offs. And they were all playing around as Boy George. And the man was an idol. And, after 30 years, he's back on the road now. They got a new album coming out, fantastic. So, he's from North London. And I was wondering if you had met him before, because you're from London. You're in London.
I think we've been to similar openings.
What was that like being around him?
Night parties and stuff.
What was it like being around him?
Oh, for me, it wasn't a great thrill.
Oh, really?
How diplomatic can I be? Yeah.
I gotta say this.
I suppose so.
And no disrespect to Shilo, but I'd much rather meet you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'd agree with that. Boy George is someone I've idolized for a long time. I think he's a great musician. I think I don't think he was given as much respect and as much credit as he deserved back in the 80s when his band was big.
He did great, didn't he?
He did fantastic. Like, that band dominated the U.S., but I don't think he was given as much respect as he deserved at the time. He was very controversial. There's no doubt about that. But, people looked down on him and thought, oh, he must be gay, he must be... And, that was the big talk then. But because people thought that, I don't think he got as much respect. But where they weren't sure, that's what gave him the push to,
Well, he had 3 or 4 successful albums.
Oh, he did.
He
did, but, I don't think he got as much respect from a lot of people back then as he does now. So, I think time tells. But at the same time, he is a big fan, and I was just wondering, if you were a fan of him or if you were around, what was it like to be around him?
Yeah. I think he's a great guy. And when I was at a party with him or whatever, he was, he's just a great guy.
Wow.
Charismatic, nice.
Yeah, very much so.
So before we wrap up here, what's up in the future for you?
I'll tell you what's going on. Like today, I'll just give you an idea of my day. I just taught the Royal Ballet. I teach the company their morning class. I've just this summer was the second summer of my own dance company called AFD Just Dance.
Oh, cool.
So we had a big meeting on that next year's tour. And then I've just been commissioned by New York Theater Ballet to make a new ballet to Philip Glass for February.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, and I started artistic director of my own ballet school.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Everything's going on right now. It's like kind of a crazy, wonderful time. And I'm in the process of writing another play with a co-writer.
You going to do a book or anything like that?
I'm not going to do a book. My first play was autobiographical called Up From the Waist, which I did at the Soho Theater in the West End.
Okay.
I did that 7 years ago. And so this is a new one. I do plays that have dance within them, but mostly text. So that was incredibly autobiographical.
Okay.
So I think, a producer in Hollywood wanted to make a film of it, so flew me out to think about doing that, which was lovely. Because he actually stumbled on me in Grease and Fame, and then just followed up, who is she? And then he started researching me and found that my actual life was very interesting. So I think like tons of going on right now, like a lot of creative stuff, which I'm really enjoying.
Well, I'll have to send you a message, and I'll see about having you send me an autograph picture. I would greatly be honored.
I'll definitely do that.
It was so nice talking to you. I've remembered you all these years, and I think you're gorgeous.
I remember you now.
Thank you.
I'll watch Grease tonight.
I think
And if you send me a friend, I'll Facebook friend you.
Sure. And
you can tell me which photo you want, because there's tons up on Facebook.
Okay, I'll do that. And I was just wondering, before you go, would you do a plug for our station here?
Sure.
Okay, just say you're listening to Python's Paradise at CHSR FM in Fredericton, New Brunswick. Say who you are first, huh?
Wait a minute, what?
Okay,
what?
say what your name is. Say your name from Fame.
Uh-huh.
And say you're listening to Python's Paradise at CHSR in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada.
I'll give you, I'll do my best.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay, go for it.
All right. Hello, this is Antonia Franceschi, a.k.a. Hilary Van Doren from Fame. You're listening to Python's Paradise, CHSR in New Brunswick, Canada.
There we go. I love you. Thank you
good.
so much for coming on here.
Thank you for joining the show. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
All right, dude. You have a good day.
We are so honored, and we wish you the best in the future. And yes,
Thanks,
I will send a friend's request on Facebook.
All right, sweetheart.
Okay, God bless
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yep.